wanna do it all with you by my side. If you're in, meet me here tonight. Be brave and come along. I'll be your ride. Promise we don't need no brake lights. We can travel the world, so just...
Good morning, day 130 on the Appalachian Trail.
I got an inchworm that just came down in front of me.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even do a closing video yesterday. We were so tired. And where we ended yesterday, at Route 41 in Sheffield, it's about a 50-minute drive from where we live in Pittsfield. So Emily picked us up there, and by the time we got home, it was late, and I ordered a pizza, had a couple beers, and just crashed.
We were exhausted. That was a tough day of uphill, but the downhills were brutal.
Yeah. So today, there's heat warnings all this week. Today's supposed to be 92, hazy, hot, and humid. Been getting up at 4:30 to drive all the way down South County, and I just needed a break from that today. So because of the heat, Sarah said, well, let's just do 11 miles. We'll start on Grange Hall Road, which is where we are. We're on Grange Hall Road in Dalton, and we're going to hike north from here to Cheshire to the Father Tom campsite. So we'll go into the town of Dalton today and walk through there. Going to just do a little bit of a patchwork. Then tomorrow we'll be back down in Sheffield at 41 and pick up where we left off there. Tomorrow's supposed to be 95, hazy, hot, and humid. So I want to keep hiking, but we're just trying to be smart with keeping the mileage reasonable and recover from yesterday, So I'll shoot some video and share what we see today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Just met a section hiker, the Scotsman. He's from Scotland. He comes out every year and does a couple weeks. He's doing it that way until he's done. He's headed Nobo. For him, he said there's many ways to hike this trail, but for him it's a trail that should be done in small sections, I think is how we put it. So he does a couple weeks at a time. A little bit of a climb here to start the day. Day Mountain, I believe this is. Let me get to the top of this, and then it'll drop us down into residential neighborhood in Dalton. And then we walk through the town. I've actually done this section before. It's kind of cool when you walk through the town of Dalton. You can stop at a couple different stores or restaurants. There's a Cumberland Farms there. I think we'll probably stop there and get something to drink at that point, but then you go back out on Golf Road, back into the woods. Yeah, and I've done that section as well, but there's a couple viewpoints over there. But it's really humid, you can feel it. As soon as we got up out of that brook, you could feel the temperature change. All right, went up and over the top. Now we're heading down Day Mountain. Wasn't bad. I think today was only like 1,200 feet of elevation gain. There's a descent towards the end of today. Brings you down into Cheshire. All right, coming out of the woods, got to cross the railroad tracks. Takes us right to the edge of a lumber yard. LP Adams lumber yard in Dalton. And we'll go right down Depot Street. And I'll tell you a couple stories. Because I grew up in Dalton for the first 10 years of my life. So when I was a baby, we moved down here onto Chamberlain Avenue, which is just down on our right. And I lived there till I was 10. We're walking on the AT on Depot Street in Dalton. Pretty sure this has been the original trail. I lived here through 1977, so from 67, 68 to 77. I often think to now about how many hikers I must have seen as a kid growing up. I used to run around this whole neighborhood. Coming up on Tom Lavardi's house. It's down here on the left. Tom, for decades, I think 30 years, has been allowing AT hikers to camp in his backyard. He also accepts packages for hikers, so you could get your resupply sent to him, and he'll put it on his front porch down here. So funny, the rock, there's this big rock I'll show you in a minute, right across from his house. We used to sit there and eat our ice cream when I was real young. The woman who lived in the house here used to make popsicles for the kids in the neighborhood, and we'd just go up and knock on her door, have a cold popsicle. Here's the rock in the house. This is Tom Lavardi's. How you doing, man? Good. That's the street I grew up on, Chamberlain Ave. 1, 2, 3, fourth house down on the right. In this block to our right is the Red Carpet Tattoo. That's my tattoo artist. It's a husband and wife. They both have different styles, both of which I love. I'm gonna try to pop in and see if they're there. It was so nice to see Aiko there. I'll put a picture-in-picture of her and I together. If you want to check out her work, or her husband Brian's work, they're both on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is awesome. I love it. It's called Pencil Assassin. And his Instagram handle is Mr. NME. Mr. Enemy. It's another cool one. Both, again, different styles, but I love them both. And people travel from all over the world to come here to get tattoo work done. We'll stop into Cumberland Farms and get something cold to drink. All right, we've just entered the woods after walking through the town of Dalton. How much farther from here, Sarah, to the car?
Said, well, 7.5 to the road you pop out on. It's probably maybe a half a mile.
Yeah, so
4
maybe.
miles to a half mile after that for the car.
All right. It's very humid.
Under 8 miles.
Under 8 miles left. We've done this section a few times. It's just gradual, really gradual, steady climb. It goes for a bit. The air temperature in Dalton, according to the Weather Channel, says 85. But with the heat index, the feels like, whatever, and the humidity, it's got to be in the 90s, feels like. It's like you're moving through jello while you're doing this climb. It's just one of those days. All right, just taking a breather. And about 0.4, there's I think it's Crystal Mountain campsite. It says I don't remember there being a water source right on the AT, but it says on Far Out that there's a water source just north of the trail that goes up to it. But hoping that that's the case. I could use some more water. But if not, there's one a couple miles up from there. How we doing, Sarah?
Hot.
Yeah, it's hot. We're gonna stop for lunch some point soon, or at least I am. I need to eat, but Sarah says she's not really feeling it with the heat. I can't afford not to. Well, there was water after the shelter on the AT, so I filled up there. Got my sandwich out, ate my sandwich while I walked. Sarah didn't want to stop. Not hungry. A couple people have commented about me looking like I'm still losing weight. And you'd be right. When I got home, I weighed myself on my scale at my house. It's the same scale I used before I started my hike. And I'm down 30 pounds. So I lost a few more pounds. Sarah says it's noticeable that the weight loss happened between Harper's Ferry and Massachusetts. So, trying to adjust that. Trying to come up with some ideas moving forward when I get to Vermont. And I'm back in the woods. Leaning towards like protein powders, a couple a day. I think it might be the best way to get the protein and the calories and carbs in me, the extra ones that I need. So I'll come up with a plan and share what I'm doing. All right, I'm starting our descent down to basically the neighborhood in Cheshire. And then you road walk through the neighborhood to the Father Tom campsite. That's where our car is parked. Sarah's sister, Sue. Sarah's the youngest of 7 children. Her sister, Sue, met us in Cheshire this morning and then drove us to Grange Hall Road in Dalton where we started. Thank you, Sue. She doesn't watch our videos, but thanking her anyway. 1 mile left to go. This is where the AT comes out of the woods and into the neighborhood of Cheshire.